Hey guys, today's hypnosis session is designed to help you solve the psychological ED spectatoring problem. Like I've mentioned in other videos, spectatoring is when you're hyper focused on your performance and doing a lot of self talk about it. It's like being up in the announcer booth instead of actually playing the game. If you want to learn more about spectatoring and get some active tools to solve the problem, check out this other video. Otherwise, park your car, grab your headphones, and get ready to just relax and absorb for a while. We'll do a 10-second countdown, then dive right in.
All right. Let's get comfortable. And as you get comfortable, you may begin to allow your attention to settle now. And it's entirely up to you whether you notice the subtle pressure where your clothes or the sheets meet your skin, or if you prefer to recognize the sound of my voice in the particular way it suggests that you could close your eyes now, if you choose to. It's perfectly fine to notice both and neither at the same time. And as your unconscious mind is collecting this information, you might be wondering if enjoying a flow state requires that you focus on a specific mental image, like a particular beach, or if it requires the opposite, allowing your mind to drift through all thoughts equally, or if maybe at some point in between, you can begin to realize that the density of these possibilities can simply begin to allow you to relax and let go now. You can take a deep breath, a long, slow exhalation now or maybe later, or maybe you don't even need to go into a trance. It becomes easy to allow the growing number of observations and suggestions to simply just layer on themselves, because that act of collecting so much information can lead you to relax deeper now, can you not? Let go. Because some people find themselves deciding if they should completely release half the muscle tension in their shoulders, a part of the tension in all of their legs, or if they just let go of all of it and anchor themselves to the surface by holding on to a single thought and letting go of the rest. And as you try to decide how many of those possibilities feel good to you now, your body can naturally find its own easy, comfortable way of settling into more relaxation. In an arm or an ear, or the soft floating glow of a television playing the scene of a familiar conversation as it drifts away, further and further, sleepy, drifting away. Because you know, now it's possible to imagine that glow as the reflection of a clear, brilliant light behind your forehead, while simultaneously being aware of the subtle weight of your hands resting on your lap or wherever they may be. Quiet. This comfortable cognitive ambiguity, the feeling of being both actively imagining and passively receiving, flowing, means that your mind can accept all healthy positive suggestions easily and deeply, but not any more quickly. And it just feels good to let go, and let someone else do the work for a while you relax. And isn't it nice to know you can be receiving and relaxing at the same time as the glow recedes farther away? Sleep. The conversation, a distant murmur receding into the distance, as you can give that arm further permission to let go and get comfortable on the inside of a thought or a dream of the time You thought about all the things you don't know consciously, knowing your unconscious knows. You could have, for example, choose to picture the color blue, or maybe you preferred to think about the number 2. And while your conscious mind had been engaged in the simple effort of remembering the choice, blue or 2, you're breathing easy, rhythmic and steady, that flow a clear sign that you can go into a very receptive state, even while you wonder about some of the parts of that dream beyond the color blue that you could find really meaningful to you in some other bedroom situations. And the quiet you may find there can be really nice if that's what you were to have found yourself remembering that you weren't dreaming about at all. So maybe you can begin to realize that there is a quiet doubt about which part of this whole experience is most important for flowing. The focus on the future, trance, goal, or the complete absorption in the present, a quiet on the inside moment, and how relaxing it can feel to know you don't need to know the answer for your unconscious mind, as your unconscious simply begins to simply accept and implement every good, positive, healthy idea you can absorb through this process as a simple truth that you've simply rediscovered. Like, oh yeah, I knew that. As the deepest levels of your body, as long as it's okay for you to let go a little more than you had been last time. In all ways, it can always feel good in bed, whether you're dreaming or otherwise. A steady progression, a flow in a direction that feels positive and natural to you. The obvious choice you can make as you enjoy the subtle challenge of processing such a volume of dense information as a very temporary and useful sensation. And you may begin to discover that your unconscious mind is simply absorbing the suggestions, allowing the sense of lots going on to gently dissolve into a calm, safe sense of ease and acceptance that creates the perfect permission for your body to relax and let go even deeper than that wonderful feeling of overabundance, that momentary inability to pin down a clear path, is simply the mind's way of releasing mental rigidity, so you experience a lot more of the other kind, allowing your awareness to slide effortlessly towards a heavy, settled state of absorbed focus, with the expansion that naturally follows from there. Just allowing the words to continue in their dense patterns without needing to categorize or understand them, knowing that the sheer volume of ideas can mean that you're sinking deeper and deeper into a quiet, receptive frame of mind, prepared for clarity, learning, flow in all the right places. And as the density of ideas begins to softly settle, you may notice the beginning of a profound sense of balance, where friction, the struggle, is gently released, and the experience of effortless, quiet flow can start to move you with an energy, a stream, that it feels a lot better to be moving in a new way, a new direction, a direction where you can be working with yourself, with your unconscious voice. No more friction, flowing new ways, taking advantage of unconscious resources that you may not have even realized have been available to you until now. Your creativity, for example. I have no doubt that that chatty part of your mind means well. That tendency to micromanage comes from a good place.
The intention is
The
positive.
intention is positive. It wants you to succeed. It wants to keep you safe. But when it takes a look now and sees what the results have been, I'm guessing it's not going to be very satisfied. So I think it's good to know that there's a deep creativity within you. That deep creative part of your mind that does all the processing and problem solving backstage while you sleep or just do other things. That part of your mind that's so limitlessly creative when it's engaged. That part of your mind that's responsible for the new and fresh ideas that seem to just pop in out of nowhere. That creative resource that's probably capable of far more than you ever dreamed, in bed or otherwise. So, while your conscious mind listens to the sound of my voice, that creative part of your unconscious can begin finding new ways for the goal of that chatty micromanager to get accomplished. New ways for you to be successful and safe. You can be curious in your conscious mind about all the different ways that creative part of you can begin now to find new choices, new alternatives, new possibilities for helping you to be successful, and safe. Your conscious mind can float and drift and listen, while that creative part of your unconscious mind can begin now coming up with new choices for that chatty voice to explore. And you may have no idea consciously what those new choices are and how that part of your mind may spontaneously find itself just exploring new ways of doing things, maybe more effective ways, maybe more comfortable ways, healthier ways. Can float and drift. Or you might find you can get really absorbed in listening to the sound of my voice as I offer some things for your conscious mind to consider if it wants to listen, or the seeds of ideas for that unconscious creative part of your mind to use as it explores all the ways that you and that voice can always be more than you've been being, with a fresh new set of choices that just feel better, maybe much more quiet, maybe otherwise. So you could think of all the things I'm about to say or have already said as being like seeds for that creative part of your mind to add to the mix of possibilities and new choices. It can allow the good ones to take root, regardless of whose idea it is, at the deepest levels of your unconscious, so that they can grow into new possibilities and choices that might surprise or delight you in a dream, in bed, and beyond. It's kind of like the way you might get absorbed if you saw a movie in a theater. When you're really into it for a while, you probably forget about the aisles. You forget about the seats. You may even forget about the other people in the audience, because it's okay to let yourself get completely absorbed in the experience. That's why you're there. And it feels good to just let that happen, right? That's why most people really enjoy going to the movies, the way they can enjoy just seeing what happens next. You know what it's like when you're really absorbed in something. Maybe it's a physical activity, a creative pursuit, or even a simple day-to-day task. When you're really into it, deeply focused on something, beyond the point of distraction, your senses heightened, at one with the task at hand. Action and awareness synchronize to create an effortless momentum. You're completely in the moment, not because you're trying to be, but rather because what you're doing is just so interesting to you. The internal dialogue fades away. Your sense of time disappears. Some people describe this feeling as being in the zone. This is the flow state that's accessible to everyone, whether they're engaged in a physical activity, a creative pursuit, or again, just a simple day-to-day task. If you were to go into a flow state like that, maybe learning, maybe performing some action, or maybe just doing something that you really enjoy, and there was somebody in the background, and they were blabbing away in their cell phone and blah, 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 you'd probably wish that they'd just shut the fuck up so you could enjoy concentrating, focusing, enjoying what really feels good to you. Like if you were engaged in some fantasy, really getting into it, or watching something that was really stimulating to you, and you are really responding a lot, and then some guy was leaning over your shoulder.
Just checking in on you, man. What's going on, bud? Hey, just checking in on you.
You probably wish he'd just shut the fuck up so you could enjoy the moment, the fantasies, or the sensations that you were experiencing. It's like the line from that old movie. I did absolutely nothing, and it was everything I thought it could be. When that guy can just relax and let go, it seems like you're doing nothing on the inside, because you don't have to. And the action is happening all by itself. It's like floating on a stream, floating along with the energy moving through your body, letting it take you where it wants to take you, relaxing, and finding yourself more and more absorbed as you enjoy the ups and downs of the ride, the twists and the turns, kind of like being in a theater and seeing a really good action movie. Have you ever enjoyed seeing a really good action movie? If you could imagine being one of the good guy criminals in a bank heist movie, and the safecracker guy in your team has his super high-tech military-grade headphones on, and he's listening to the tiny, minute sounds as he works to get the vault's lock to release, feeling in his fingers the most subtle sensations from the vault door as he works the dial. You'd probably find yourself being very quiet, very focused on what you're doing, maybe to the point where you'd almost go into a trance of fascination as the tumblers in the vault door click into place. Because getting rich could be a very exciting thing. And it's not always easy, but it's something that can really hold all your attention in a moment like that. Let go. And if you were there in a vault or watching a film like that, experiencing yourself as part of the action in an action film, you'd probably find yourself getting excited during certain parts of the film or fantasy. And maybe it's the suspense and focus of the safe cracking. Maybe it's the big car chase after you've gotten away with all the jewels. Maybe it's the big champagne celebration after you all get away safe. Or the way you might find yourself celebrating after that. And if you were really into watching the film in a theater with other people, you might have the experience that even a musician can have in a movie. someone talking back to the screen, or heckling the actors. Some people talk at movies. And maybe it's a little harsh, but I can't help but think of what one musician described as his experience of that kind of thing.
You can burn my house, you can cut my hair, you can make me wrestle naked with a grizzly bear, you can poison my cat, baby, I don't care. But if you talk in the movies, I'll kill you right there.
Because many people would agree that it's good to be polite. It's nice to be considerate of other people, especially yourself. It's a way of being kind. Even to yourself. And I think that most people would agree that the considerate thing to do is to stay quiet during a film, to let the folks around you enjoy the experience of the film in their own way, knowing that if you have something to say, there's always time to express yourself later, after the film is over, after the other folks have left the theater and enjoyed the show. It's like if you were ever to go to a concert, you're there, the band is on stage, they're rocking out, and you really want to hear them. You know, the interplay between the guitars, the nuances of the backup vocals, the crack of the snare drum, the power of the singer's voice. But if there's some guy yelling off-key lyrics in your ear from behind you, that would be a distraction. And it can feel so good when he realizes he can just stop and get quiet. So everyone can enjoy the show together. And he can be kind that way, in a way that might feel like a real relief to you if you were at a show like that. Now, I know, and you know, that some people just aren't very good at certain things, and that's okay, as long as they're not trying to do someone else's job, someone who's actually good at it, someone who's proved that they're dependable, reliable, skilled. The fresh out of college kid telling the executive who's been successful for years how to run the company. The intern advising the master surgeon on which scalpel to use. The newbie personal trainer telling the Olympic gold coach how to structure the training schedule. The high school volunteer explaining tax law loopholes to the senior partner at the firm. The restaurant server telling the Michelin-starred chef how to season the signature dish. Sometimes it's better to just stay in your own lane, to stick with your own job, and to stay quiet and let the pros do their thing. Is it not? Because you probably don't need that guy at the concert yelling in your ear when there's a great singer up on stage. And it really doesn't matter how good that guy behind me thinks he might be. If he's not good at the job, it's a lot nicer when he just gets quiet. And he lets the singer do the job that he's a lot better at. So you just get that silence behind you. And that can be a relief for all three of you. A lot of people drive when they go to a concert or to a movie, and they drive in a car. And I don't know if you've ever had the experience of driving, being a confident driver, knowing how to use the wheel, knowing how to use the brake, knowing how to use the gas pedal, using the shifter to shift from park to drive, or knowing when the time is right to shift gears, when it's a stick. Years of experience in successfully driving, and then having someone who barely even drives at all there in the passenger seat, and they're telling you what to do. asking you a bunch of questions, telling you that,
If you don't slow down, we're gonna crash.
I know what I want to say when someone in the passenger seat does that to me. I wish they'd just
Shut the fuck up.
relax. Yeah. It's like, imagine a boss looking over an employee's shoulder. He probably feels like he's being a great manager as he's saying,
Can you do it? What if you can't do it? Are you done yet? Are you done yet? What if you can't do it? Can you do it? Are you done yet? Are you done yet?
now he might be a nice guy. He might have the best of intentions. But I'd say that if he's doing that, he's probably not very good at his job. He's probably not a very good manager. And he's probably not even capable of doing the actual job himself. Again, he's probably a nice guy. Maybe he just needs some training so he can learn to be a better manager, to know when to actually help an employee who needs it, and when to just stay away and be quiet. And let that employee do the job he's plenty capable of doing on his own, without the supervision, in silence. Or think of a diligent night watchman. He walks around with a bright flashlight, shining it here, shining it there, checking, is this working? Is this okay? He tries so hard to be helpful. He thinks that by shining that bright, harsh light, he's keeping things safe. But you know, what happens when you shine a bright flashlight into the eyes of someone trying to dream? It wakes them up. That watchman, he probably hadn't realized that some things grow best in the dark. Some things, like the roots of a tree, or a developing photo, or a feeling, need the shadows to develop fully. They need to be left alone to expand. That safe is a lot more likely to open when you can just focus and flow. Without a lot of noise in the background. The movie theater. Quiet. Silence. And as you sit there now, comfortably in the theater of your mind, just allowing the chair to support you there. You don't really need to do anything at all. This is all pretty easy, actually. Much easier than wrestling naked with a grizzly bear. You don't even have to realize the level of expertise you're actually bringing. You can just listen to the sound of my voice, or you can listen to the silence between the words. It doesn't matter which, because your unconscious mind can continue to listen to everything that matters. So I wonder if you can imagine seeing your arm there in the armrest of the chair in the theater, and making a fist with your hand. A tight fist, squeezing it, and noticing how much effort that takes. And notice how white your knuckles get. Because when you hold on tight, when you try to force the strength, the blood can't get in. The effort pushes the life away. And then try just letting that hand open in your mind. You don't have to push it open. You just stop holding it closed. And notice what happens automatically. The warmth returns. The color returns. The blood flows back into the fingers. All by itself. You didn't have to command the blood. You didn't have to give it a map. It knows exactly where to go. The moment you stopped trying to make it go there, naturally, your body has that wisdom It's billions of years old, older than your name, older than your thoughts. And it's done it time after time across generations and in you. I mean, that's why we have babies, right? You know, you were small once. Think about when you learned to walk. At first, you watched your feet and you thought, lift right, place left, balance here, and then you fell down. But then one day, you stopped looking at your feet. You looked at where you wanted to go, and your legs just took you there. And if you were to look down at your feet today and try to analyze exactly which muscle should fire first and then second, and then which one third, and you'd probably trip. Your legs know how to walk. Your lungs know how to breathe. And your body knows how to respond. It's an expert. So that voice that had been being so chatty, I wonder how well he'd perform if maybe you changed his job description a little bit. Because even if he's grown very quiet, he might still like to feel useful. And one of the many new things he could find himself doing is to begin to shine his light in the direction of your left ear, to monitor the specific temperature of the air touching your left earlobe. He could watch that very closely to notice if it changes, even by a single degree. That flashlight beam trained on that left earlobe and staying there with a deep sense of responsibility and fascination for it. And while he's busy doing that, noticing the temperature, maybe counting the seconds, wondering about the air, the rest of you can just float like a piece of driftwood in a river. You don't need to push the river. You don't need to swim. The current is already going exactly where you want to go. Let go, float. And the wood, just by floating, gets where it needs to be. So you might be surprised, pleasantly surprised, to notice that when you aren't looking, when you're distracted by the warmth of the room, or the scent of the perfume, or the feeling of a touch, that your body has already responded. It happened while you were looking the other way. Let go, float. Just like the name you forgot that pops into your head the moment you stop trying to remember it. And you can enjoy that, if you like, the comfort of knowing that everything is working perfectly underneath the surface. And with that comfort, you may notice the voice slows down in joy, or gets very quiet in bed, or maybe something else. Because that creative part of you may be coming up with options that are 10 times as good as anything that I might suggest. So you can be as curious as I am about how many different ways you may find that voice showing up in new ways, helpful ways, or not at all, always, or each time it might feel good to know it's on your side, flowing, free from friction, together with you, on your side. Maybe even to the point where you find yourself surprised and delighted with all the new ways you discover to have the experiences you both love having together as you move forward from here on the same side. But not any more quietly, any more silently than you might feel right now. The comfort of knowing everything can be working perfectly underneath the surface. new possibilities. That deep, unconscious, creative part of your mind continuing to come up with new choices, new options, new possibilities for you. Quiet. Let go. The comfort flow of knowing ease that everything will be working perfectly underneath the surface. Strength. Quiet. Energy. Flow. Comfort. Ease. Knowing. Working. The comfort of knowing. Silence. That everything works perfectly. Silence. Underneath the surface. Silence. Quiet. Strength. Comfort. Knowing. Energy on the inside. The comfort of knowing everything works perfectly underneath the surface. Perfectly. Quiet. Silence. Flow. Silence. Silence.
Notice how you feel. Maybe a sense of mental calm, or maybe more of a physical sense of relaxation, or maybe even a spark of excitement. Because the work you've done today can shift those old patterns. That state of relaxation in your body can be its way of saying yes to moving forward this way. So I hope this helps you. And please keep in mind, in terms of results, the more you're able to listen, the better. With stuff like this, repetition definitely helps. Oh, and if you want a quick, in-the-moment tool for when you're going into a sexy situation, just click the first link in the description below. I designed the session specifically to help you resolve those pre-performance jitters. It's called the Pressure Release Reset. It's hypnosis, and it's totally free. If you'd like to have this ready for the next time you need it, again, just click in the description. Thanks for watching.